I am, you're not. You're on the outside. On the inside, we have special privileges. Believe me, we deserve them. He gives a brief smile. It's a loony bin. And in our particular loony bin, ever since I can remember, there's been an even loonier myth doing the rounds. It's, he sighs, half embarrassed. A ghost story that kind of circulates amongst the patients from time to time. They're suggestible, you can imagine. We try to keep a lid on it where we can. But it's popped up a few times, and at least 3 times I know of what's ended up happening. There's been a bizarre cluster of DSH cases. DSH? Sorry, deliberate self-harm. People cutting themselves, that sort of thing. A few years back, it escalated to a death. Maybe a suicide, we don't know for sure. Then a week ago, there was another death. A heart attack, according to the doctors. But it doesn't feel right. Caffery taps his pen thoughtfully, studying AJ's face. It's a sad story, one he's heard before. Suicides in a secure unit always make the senior staff unhappy, deeply unhappy, but they rarely turn out to be anything MCIT needs to be interested in. Maybe this can be moved through the system quickly. One guy put his own eye out. Nasty. Nasty, though not that uncommon in a, loony bin. But he had the same hallucinations, just like the patient we lost last week. Her heart attack was after delusions. And it was the same a few years ago when the other patient died. She'd convinced herself she'd seen the more... Sorry, I didn't explain. They call this thing the Maud. The Maud? AJ shakes his head. It's a long story. But whatever was going on in this one patient's mind was so bad that one day she walks out of the unit and no one sees her again. Not until months later when they find her body in the grounds. The autopsy never did say for sure how she died. I think everyone had it in the back of their heads it was a suicide, but it got moved on down the tracks. What was her name? Pauline Scott. It rings vague bells for Caffery. It was before his time, but he's fairly sure it's a case Flea mentioned. Notable because it was embarrassing for everyone concerned. Beachway for letting a vulnerable patient wander out, and the police search advisor, the pulsar on Flea's unit, who was tasked with the search and didn't quite extend the parameters far enough. So easy to miss someone a few meters outside. He doesn't move his eyes, but his attention trails across the room to Misty's face. A search like that, meters, even centimeters can count. Except, AJ says, I think it's a case of the Scooby-Doo ghost. A case of the what? Scooby-Doo. You know, Scooby and Shaggy and the gang always catch the ghost, pull off its mask, and turns out to be, I don't know, the local property developer or something. Wants to make people believe the place is haunted so the land prices drop. That's what I call a Scooby ghost. Something that's real, but it's made to look supernatural. I reckon we've got one haunting the corridors of Beachway. And you're Shaggy? No, I'm Velma, I'm the brains. And I'm Scully, by the way, because sometimes I get asked that too. Velma? Scully? The stage is all yours. Hit me. AJ nods. If he had nerd glasses, he'd push them up his nose. Okay. I can't find out for certain, but I'm pretty sure every time it's happened there's been a power cut. Uh-huh. Power cut puts the CCTV system down. Have a lot of power cuts, do you? Nope. 2, maybe 3. That's all I can remember in the 4 years I've been there.